detective. Thrill me.
Thanks for joining us. Episode 2, Hell Motel, Jared. We continue. But we will also continue telling you what we've been watching, talking about news and looking at movie trailers here. So we're going to extend this episode with a little excess. I went straight to Netflix after we talked last episode and watched Armour with Sylvester Stallone.
Good. Yep.
Terrible. Terrible.
Yeah.
Look, I'm like you. The idea was kind of all right, but it's very cheap acting-wise. I mean, I don't even know why Stallone... I mean, in his heyday, he wouldn't have even looked at this.
No.
Like, this would have just been thrown out. $3.5 million for a day's work. I mean, it's not a good day's work.
It's not.
Sly looks disinterested, fucking bored. I mean, he's barely doing anything.
No.
But it's
easiest $3 million he's ever made, I reckon.
Yeah. You know what, though? I feel sorry because I think Jason Patrick is actually really good in it.
Patrick should have knocked on his trailer and said, listen, I'm pulling the weight. How about you take 2.7 and cut me a slice?
Patrick should have knocked on his trailer and said, listen, I hear you're getting $3.5 million. Fucking do some work.
Yeah.
Like, really.
Yeah.
Like, fucking have some standards, Sylvester.
Yeah. I mean, Sly's turned
And when I say standards, I don't mean laughing at fucking extras. I mean having some standards about what you're delivering.
That's what I was saying to you. If I'm taking $3 million for a day's work, I'm already feeling a little bit guilty. So I turn up and say, you're getting my best today. You're getting what I got. If you need 10 takes, I won't get the shits.
No, I'll get the shits, but they'll be good takes. There'll be 10 good takes. It sounds like there's a bit of behind-the-scenes shit, as you pointed out.
Yeah.
The fucking idiot who was producing it.
Who didn't get
Who's a
credited as
noted
the
flog
director, but
based on a
basically
quick
directed
Google search.
Yeah.
It basically came up with noted flog.
Yeah.
But
pretty much.
it sounds like he's a dickhead, so...
I mean, there was accusations that amount to sort of, almost assault of sorts, and then the next thing was he was on Vanderpump Rules or something. I was like, fuck, that's extra points against you.
Yeah, extra dickhead points. So Armour was not a good time. I followed that up with an even less good time, Jared. Sniper Special Ops with Steven Seagal.
Oh, man.
Which you told me the guy could not be bothered to fucking... He used a double.
To walk up and down the stairs?
Yes. Because he's carrying that guy. That was my favourite. He's carrying a bloke on his shoulder.
Yeah.
And it's like, clearly that's not fucking Seagal.
Yeah.
I mean,
and there's points where he's putting
big.
a cap on and then, like, putting his shoulders up really high so you can't see his face.
Now, that's lazy.
Yeah.
His performance in that is fucking lazy as.
Yeah.
And it's a terrible movie. Rob Van Dam, is he a wrestler?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. He's fucking terrible as well.
Yeah, but as you just said, he's a wrestler.
Yeah.
He's just they'll just hire him without seeing any acting chops because they know there's a collection of people that'll see Rob Van Dam's name on there and go,
but
fuck,
I can tell you right now, Van Dam's better than Seagal in the movie.
Yeah.
And Van Dam's not a great actor, but fuck, he's at least trying.
Yes.
Seagal's fucking and it just after fucking the sitting through 90 minutes of shit, it ends with the girl looking at him and going, I mean, are you as good as everyone says you are? And he's like, once in a while. I was just like, fuck you. Really, fuck you.
Today's not one of those times.
But it's like, stop this fucking macho crap.
Yeah.
Like, you're a fucking 70-year-old man.
Mm.
Like, stop this bullshit. It's a bit like Sly.
Well, yeah, we cop a bit of Sly's shit and we laugh at some of the crap that he does and the way he carries on in his TV show. It clearly shows that he's not in touch with reality. But occasionally he has done that old dog.
Yes.
He's done it with Rocky. He's done it with
But Sly's a good enough actor
Yeah.
to play an aging mentor type or something like that and has done it to good effect.
Yes.
Right? So
Seagal needs to get into a fucking, a Clint Eastwood get off my lawn kind of fucking thing.
Fuck. Eastwood
No, I shouldn't have compared. Sorry, Clint.
Oh, you're fucked.
But you know what I mean?
It's apples and oranges.
That's
Different apples and oranges.
It's just different types of orange, isn't it? Like a navel and a Valencia or something.
but Eastwood went with, played that older guy, sort of leaned into that shit.
Yeah.
Like your Space Cowboys and all that stuff.
Well, a Gran Torino.
Like
too much acting for Seagal, but you take something like that, like this guy who used to be something,
yes,
who just gets thrust into the situation.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
and once again, the whole idea of like, there's no doubting, the character in Gran Torino is like fucking like Mr. Macho, but he's also flawed. And the character has issues, and all that stuff is kind of there. I mean, I'm not saying that Stephen's going to get those type of scripts because he's not. But even if you looked at something like that, I mean, he's not making movies much anymore, is he?
Seagal? Oh, no.
He's fucking just being a pest in Russia.
Professional pest these days.
Yeah, I see. That's his current job description.
Professional flea. I just fucking... hang around and make a nuisance of herself.
Yeah. Problem is he's hanging around with the government.
Yeah.
It would seem.
Yeah.
But, that was a fucking prick of a time.
Yeah, well, I think at least, I told you should never watch it. At least you listened to me for 4 to 5 years before you watched it. It was only a matter of time.
I wish it had to last longer. Christ.
Yeah, it's bad.
Okay,
bad.
So I went The Bear, season 4, came out. I watched the first 3 episodes. We're back on a bit of steady ground. Third season was up and down, like really up and down. This time we open with like they put the ticking clock as to what the end game's going to be, and they immediately go into the montages of the cooking and the restaurant being run, and then also little quieter moments, character moments, which is how the first 2 seasons ran.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel comfortable with where we're at, and the second and third episode were quite good.
That's one that I've got to watch.
Yeah, it's really good. Look, I will say this: the second season was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah,
like some of the best television I've ever seen, I reckon. And I was so disappointed in the way the third season played out. Like I was kind of like, what the fuck have they done here?
Slight tangent on that one.
Yeah?
Did you happen to see the trailer of Jeremy Allen White as Springsteen?
I did not.
Looks the goods.
He looks the goods, does he? Does he look like the boss?
Well,
is he boss enough for you?
No, I think he's boss enough.
Yeah, okay, good.
I believe he's doing some of his own singing too.
Really? That's good. So this isn't a fucking Bohemian Rhapsody sort of thing where they say, don't bother.
Look, I think that was the right call.
Yeah, look, I'm going to do my own singing. No, you're not.
No. You can do your own lip syncing.
Yeah, not in this case, you're not.
Have you heard of Freddie Mercury? Just have you heard the bloke's voice?
He was pretty good. He wasn't bad. I dipped a toe into Netflix's new kind of light crime drama.
It already sounds bad.
The Waterfront that's made by Kevin Williamson. Not bad. It was all right. Yeah, standard sort of shit. It's a bit like Ozark. It's kind of light Ozark. It's got the guy who was in Mindhunters, Holt McCaney or whatever his name is, the older guy. He's really good. I always like him. There's a few other well-known actors in there, so it sort of rides its luck on that stuff. And, standard kind of drugs and crime and that. So it was all right. Stan versus Evil.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, Johnny C. McGinley playing Johnny C. McGinley.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Evil Dead, Ash versus Evil Dead. Yeah, I had a good time with the first episode. It was all right. 25 minutes an episode, Jared. Like nothing.
Perfect.
Yeah, perfect. Fucking never overstayed its welcome at all. Couple of highly amusing moments. I don't know why I did this, Jared, but I only got a certain portion through it, but I actually watched the RoboCop remake.
Oh, okay.
Back to the RoboCop remake. I was
actually planning on doing the same.
Yeah, yeah. It's on Stan.
I cancelled Stan.
Right.
Get out of here. I need less in my life.
Have you also
cancelled? I need less streaming services.
Have you cancelled Binge?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so RoboCop's not for you.
Well, well, I've got it on DVD.
Oh, have you?
I got it on Blu-ray.
Blu-ray, have you? Fucking hell, you're the one.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Hey, look, Stan will be cancelled for a couple of months until there's something I desperately
And then you'll
need
be
to watch,
fucking back on
and then
there.
I'll put it on for a month. But I need consolidation. And Stan, I'm sorry, but you're in the firing line.
Yeah, you guys need to consolidate.
go.
Listen, talk to each other.
Yes.
Roll all together.
I hear buyouts are on the table.
Yeah, there's money in it, fellas. So the RoboCop remake. Look, there are some kind of good things there. There's some reasonable things in that. The opening sequence where we have Pat Novak's show and the robots on the street and the suicide bombers, that shit's kind of cool. Like it's cool to sort of the way they juxtapose the whole idea of robots protecting people and all this type of stuff, and then it kind of goes a little bit pear-shaped on the show and everything like that. That's kind of interesting. I think the bit about it, and again, I'm only about 40 minutes in, I think the bit that I remember not liking was that the whole thing about him being human still.
Well, they mixed it, if I recall
And then
correctly, they
drugged
mixed
him,
it up
they
that he
drugged
like remembered, then he didn't remember, then he did remember. It's like, why did we even bother with that?
Because they started drugging him, remember? Because it was like he's too slow.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
he's thinking about and offering like options, whereas we don't want him to do that. We want him to just fucking do it, you know? That's an interesting idea, but in a way it's a little bit too... It's not really that complicated, but it's like, it's too convoluted for this. RoboCop was fucking straight.
Well, it just added too much to that part of it. Like the character of Murphy. Like in the original, it was like, okay, he's dead, but he's not really dead. Like, this isn't Murphy. And then it's like, well, it is. It's still there. Well, that's pretty straightforward. Well, this one going, like, it just didn't work that he was RoboCop and remembered. Because that's how it plays, isn't it? They turn him into RoboCop, he remembers, then they make it so he doesn't remember.
Yeah, they slowly kind of drug him out of it.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't like it. It was
almost like the opposite
to
the original RoboCop.
Yep. To get to the same place in the end.
Don't get me wrong. There's good money involved in this remake, and there's a lot of good people.
Good actors.
Fuck, mate, it's not a patch. Like, it's not even close. Like, visually, not in the same fucking ballpark at all as the original.
No.
And I'll take practical fucking and sort of matte paintings and Ed 209 in the original, to me, looks fucking much better than this CGI bullshit there.
Yeah, some of it is the design of the costumes, but I think agreed. Like,
there's something really cool about the way the first one's
the stop motion actually really works for those characters because it's like jerky kind of movement.
Yeah. Works perfectly for Ed 209. So you can kind of see a little bit like the remake's a bit of not a cash grab, but it's kind of trading on the IP without doing much new with it.
Yeah.
And the last one
which will happen again shortly too, because Amazon owns it now, don't they?
Yeah.
So
think we'll get another one?
Give us something. Give us something.
And the last one was Trainwreck, Jared. Poop Cruise, which I believe you watched as well.
I did.
I mean, it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny, but also, not a fucking cool head amongst them. Not a fucking cool head amongst them. Look, the toilets don't work.
No, that's right.
Fucking take a breath and work out the best way to do things.
Yeah,
if I have to shit in a bag, I'll shit in a bag.
Yeah. And as a male, okay, I'll go and take a leak off the side of the boat if I have to.
Yeah.
Just, if we're opening that option up, it's probably more convenient for me if I'm sitting next to the bar with a beer. Well, I can just wander over it. But, There
was a couple of people who you could see that it was like, it's like they'd been fucking in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Like that. I'm fucking traumatized.
Yeah, there was the old bloke that had taken his daughter. At the time, she was about 12.
Yeah.
And he's still kind of in tears about it that I couldn't make this holiday great. Whereas if it was me, I'd be sitting there with my daughter going, remember that time we went on a cruise and 2 days in we were wading through shit? And laughing it up. I'd be telling the story like, Brad Crouch falling into the fucking septic tank, mate. Like,
it'd be fucking piss funny.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
remember that time we were sitting on the deck and a bag of shit flew from up top and landed next to us? Like, yeah, it's not, as you said, it's not war. It's not
Yeah,
like
exactly.
we've been through.
I haven't got PTSD.
As I said
just
to
had
you,
to shit in a fucking bag.
we remove a couple of creature comforts, and that's that's the end of it.
We turned into fucking, as you said, Barter Town.
Well, I was saying to my missus, like, we both watched it, and she was, obviously she works in an industry where cruises are like a competitor to what she does. So I'm sitting at this going, you must be loving this. And she's like, you know what? I think I worked with someone who was working for Carnival at the time. And I'm like, you have to ask about this. I need some inside info. But like as you said, 2 days without the toilets, and it was fucking Lord of the Flies, mate.
There was shanty towns.
Except the flies were all hanging around the toilets because they were all full of shit.
There was shanty towns fucking set up. There were fucking religious groups.
Yeah, there was a
forming.
religious cult. Well, it wasn't a cult, but it was getting that way. I watched that and I said, that's the mist. We're fucking 2 days without being able to shit in a toilet, and it's a Stephen King novel. Unbelievable.
Exactly. It's not like 2 days without being able to shit, period.
Yeah.
You were able to shit.
Yeah. So I think they were rescued, 4 days after the crappers went out?
Yeah.
Was it like 4 days?
Yeah, 4 days.
I think I sent you a text that said, if it was 2 weeks, that religious group's making people walk the plank. This is your fault, you sinning
fucking
bastards.
bags of shit tied around your neck. No doubt about it.
Unbelievable. It's fucking unbelievable.
Jimmy Jones is he's just stirring up some Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Ready to fucking
I
kill
couldn't
everyone
believe
after
it when
2
they
weeks.
showed up there. Oh, yeah, the buffet. This is, again, I think the buffet was like within the 2 days. And people are fucking hoarding the buffet.
I know. And those were the things that really shat me. Because it's like, hang on a second, we're all in the same fucking predicament here.
Yeah, ration this shit,
And
we're
then
fine.
secondly,
but if you take 10 burgers, we're fucked.
yeah, but one of those fucking girls who I thought the three of them were just a fucking group of assholes.
They were on there
like
for
they're all fucking flogs.
On there for the hens.
Yeah,
weekend.
they came across.
She was still pissed that her hens was ruined. I'm like, you're lucky to be alive.
Yeah, fucking, you're lucky you didn't get a staph infection from stepping in someone's shit. but her fucking comment about, you waited in line for like 3 hours and then I got up there and they gave me a fucking sandwich that was all fucking sort of,
Yeah. Why
shitty.
did they do that?
And I just said to my wife, I said, you know what? That's what you've got.
Yeah.
The fucking thing that you can't get anything else. It's not a fucking DoorDash.
Yeah. I'm just
For
having a
fuck's
quiet
sake.
word to her and saying, listen, we can't use the toilet. Do you think their fucking fridges are working at the moment? Like,
Yeah, let me fucking give you a quick rundown on how refrigeration
Listen,
works.
Everything's
asshole.
fucked, and I've got a sandwich. I'm pretty fucking happy.
I'm eating the fucking
I'm
sandwich.
eating the sandwich, saying, "Thank Christ,
Like,
I'm not going hungry."
It just fucking shat me because it's like, I think that's what they were going for. I think they probably found the biggest dickheads they could find.
I think they had a
narrative that they wanted to.
They had a section. And they had a section of how people were handling it. Like, old mate was distraught that his fucking vacation was ruined. And there was the guy who somehow found a working crapper. I wanted to know more about that.
he didn't find a working crapper. No,
I thought he said he found
He said he'd heard there was a working crapper. And I
he
again,
insinuated.
No, I said
he
to my
insinuated
wife,
that he'd used one.
No, he didn't. He said he went looking. And
I think you need to watch again because he does say that he fucking got to use a toilet.
Because I don't know how.
I don't know. Well, he didn't get to use a working toilet.
He would have been a lasagna guy.
Yeah, I fucking know he was a lasagna guy. But I need to know. I need to know these details.
Jared, guys like him are the reason why it punch-ons would have fucking happened. Because he would have still been crapping in toilets.
You know why? Because some people get in this situation and they think it's a game of Survivor.
Yeah.
It's not. It's fucking work together and we get through this.
Or they think that, this doesn't apply to me. The fucking toilet,
Yeah.
not one toilet works in this place.
Yeah.
The fucking power is burnt to shit.
This is actually
But that doesn't matter. I go find a toilet.
slight tangent, but this is actually I actually read this article on like survivalists. And the funny thing is,
Are you talking about the guys in
people
Alone?
No,
Or are you talking about the fucking survivor idiots?
not like that. Like preppers, bunkers, and shit
Oh,
like
those
that.
guys, yeah.
And the funny thing is,
So Chuck Norris.
there's actually like a well, fuck, I'm sure all of them have a bucket of Roundhouse rations in there somewhere. But
I'm still
the
pissed off
funny
we
thing
couldn't find
is,
that, Jared.
the people that I'm still on the hunt. I'm just going to do it legally. I don't want to get pulled up by customs for
Well,
importing
one of the
something.
many flights over to watch movies, you should be able to come back with fucking Roundhouse rations.
Exactly. I'm going to do it. But yeah, the funny thing is, you know, they get tagged as people like that. When shit goes wrong, I go into this mode of every man for himself. And it's actually not like that. It's more like, well, we work together with what we've got. We share resources and do this to rebuild.
That's what survivalists are into?
Well, that's what, you know, some of there was different sort of camps, but one of them was like, if we're going to do this successfully, you must rely on other people because we all have skills.
Yeah.
I can do something, you can do something, like, and you might be growing something, I might be growing. We share it. Like,
Yes, yeah. But
so
that's
it's not
how
actually
most of
it's
them
not
work.
actually this lone wolf kind of mentality.
Because that's not possible. That's not feasible.
No,
It's not feasible to do that.
no, that's right.
You
well,
can-
fuck,
you can't
mate. I
survive on your
I can
own.
say when it turns into the apocalypse, I can say all I want. Well, fucking righto, it's on. It's every man for himself. I can cook myself a meal. Great. I can't fix my fucking car.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
once it breaks down, I'm on foot.
Well, I've got certain rations,
Yeah.
but I'm missing this.
yeah.
You've got that.
Yes.
But that's why things like The Last of Us exist, where I kill you for that.
Correct. But this is the thing. Like, that's when it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It works when people do.
Because what it becomes is just lawless fucking shit where
That's when it becomes Mad
It's-
Max,
yeah.
mate. It becomes Poop Cruise.
Who'd have thought George
It
Miller was ahead of his
becomes
time?
fucking Poop Cruise. You motherfuckers. You're at the buffet. I mean, it's not too bad if they're shouting free piss on day 3.
No. That was the dumbest idea in fucking history.
Terrible idea,
That was
but-
the most awful idea. Like, I thought the crew did the fucking best they could in
Yeah.
a really difficult spot.
Yes.
Because there was nothing that they could do.
That was a bad call.
That was a shocking call.
But-
you can't take a dump and you want to give free piss to everyone.
See, if me and you were on that cruise and I heard that free piss in this lounge, blah, blah,
did.
blah, me and you say, fuck, that's a stupid idea. How about we duck in for a couple of scammers? What do you think? yeah, sounds good.
And then I get a fucking skinful, Jared, and then I start going, this is barbarism.
Yeah.
I am not shitting in a bag.
It's
and
the naked gun, mate.
Fucking
This-
four days later.
This is room temperature. It's supposed to be slightly chilled.
And then 4 hours later, can I get a roll of those fucking bags? 'Cause
Yeah,
I
yeah.
need to take a shit.
That's when we get back to the room and start remonstrating because you're using the bag to urinate, and I'm trying to tell you that's only for the other end, mate. Stop doing that. We have a ration of bags.
Jared, I'd ask for a roll of those bags. I'd be like, yeah, fuck yeah. I'm going to shit in these bags all day long.
Yeah, see, that's what the people that were hoarding food. That's what they should have been hoarding was the.
But see, that's so counterintuitive. I hoard food.
Yeah, but I can't
eat
shit
lots,
anywhere.
but I refuse to shit. It's like it's fucking counterproductive,
fuck.
dumbass.
Look, it was well worth a watch. And
It
did
was.
I laugh? Did I laugh?
I tell you what, I laugh too. Carnival Cruises going, oh, it's just a fucking electrical fault. And then suddenly it hits the fucking news that the toilets don't work. It ends up on CNN.
Yeah.
And the guy from Carnival's like, oh, shit. Should have been upfront and honest.
Yeah. Look, sorry, I forgot to mention the other day that we've got people ankle deep in their own feces at the moment.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, shit.
As soon as I saw a couple of videos of the ship like tilting to the side, and sloshing in hallways, there was a little bit of oh shit.
Oh, fuck.
Imagine that.
Oh, my God. Yeah, it was fucking disgusting. It was funny.
Yeah, you made a shanty town to get out of your room, and now it's soaking wet. Oh, God.
Jesus Christ. All right, that was it for me. There's a couple more on the train wreck coming up that might also be interesting.
Not as funny as that one.
No, not as funny as that one, but there's actually one about that fucking little boy who was supposedly in that helium balloon.
Oh, yeah.
That might be interesting.
Yeah, should be a decent watch. I like that they're just like a 45
to 50 minute gig. Yeah,
it's good. We're not overstaying.
Yeah.
We don't make 3 episodes out of it like Netflix usually does.
That's right. Someone fucking told them not to.
No. Okay, so I started with Guess Who, which
which is another Aaron Martin.
Yeah, Ian Carpenter thing that was on Tubi.
Joint?
Yeah, it was okay.
Was it?
It was fine. It was just like...
Was it a slasher? Because
yes and no. It actually had a couple of people from Slasher in it. But no, I wouldn't call it a slasher. It did involve that sort of thing, but it was... So it's set in this night, in this kind of trailer park setup where people kind of get a mask on and they knock on each other's doors and tell riddles and shit like that. So obviously, easy way to set up a killing sort of thing. I don't know. I wouldn't really class it as a slasher because there's a bit going on towards the end that takes up more time.
It's not
so there's a few less kills and that sort of thing.
So are people dying? Though?
Yes, people are dying. But yeah, it was okay.
Was it better than Terror Train? Like in terms of quality?
I probably preferred Terror Train. Similar quality.
Okay.
It's Tubi. But they're both Tubi originals. So I probably preferred Terror Train a little just because of the familiarity with the material. After that, Poop Cruise was my next watch, but I think we've covered that pretty well.
No, we didn't. Actually, one thing was missing. The guy referring to a fucking triple-decker as lasagna.
A poop lasagna.
I've been there, dude. I've been there. I feel for you.
Yeah.
You know what?
That was at university.
I know.
That's a supposedly educated population who can't figure this out.
We were not floating with no toilets when these assholes did that.
The closest working toilet was a short walk.
Exactly. It was the ladies' toilet across the way, as I found out.
Yeah, luckily it was 5 in the morning, so nobody else was there.
So then I ran round to the ladies' toilet. Yeah,
into the ladies.
Yeah,
quietly destroy that one too.
Quietly, mind you. But sorry, keep going.
Sorry.
Holy shit!
Classic. So after that,
classic. Hardly a classic. What a fucking cruise! I would never go on a cruise again after that.
I think it's turned off. I think it's turned me off, and I wasn't even on it. I watched a Billy Blake's vehicle.
Oh shit!
It was called TC 2000. Yeah. It had like Billy Blanks and Matthias Hughes.
Oh yeah. From Come in Peace or whatever it was.
Yeah,
Matthias Hughes.
Yep. No, it wasn't great. It was obviously very cheap. I
wasn't expecting to say it was great. Look, I'm not going to lie.
Look, Billy's not an actor, so when you put him in a lead role, that
is he bad?
He's just he doesn't have to do a lot of heavy lifting, but there's one part where
he
can kick some ass, and that's probably the best. There's a few decent fight scenes in it, but overall, it's not great. There's the acting across the board is pretty average. I think the lady that's in one of the other major roles, the only thing I remember her from was the remake of Carnival of Souls. So it's not a high quality affair, I wouldn't say. So to wash the taste of that out, I watched a Roger Corman produced Don the Dragon Wilson movie called Future Kick.
Sorry, did you say Future Kick?
Yeah.
Holy shit, Jared, that's not washing your mouth out at all.
Wait till you hear the next one after that.
Oh, fuck.
I watched Future Kick. Look, for whatever Corman... whatever you want to say about Corman, he could stretch a budget.
Yes.
It's cheap as chips.
Him and Charlie Band were cut from the similar cloth.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's cheap as chips, but you watch it and you're like, it actually looks futuristic. He's actually used what he's got to make this look a little bit futuristic.
Yeah.
Putting touches of like the Terminator and Total Recall in a Don the Dragon Wilson flick is probably not something I myself would do. But it was okay. It had Meg Foster was like the second lead, so you've got someone that's got a bit of acting experience and whatnot. So that was a little better. It at least had a couple of reasonable ideas. After that, I stumbled into an Italian flick from the 80s called Ratman.
Ratman.
Which starred, remember Marlon Brando's little mate from Marlon Brando's little mate from the island of Dr. Moreau?
Midget
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
What the fuck?
He plays a hybrid rat / monkey. I don't know why they didn't just say rat / man, but and it's
Where the fuck did you find this?
Tubi.
Holy shit! Only on Tubi.
It came from Tubi, as they say. It was terrible. It was supposed to be like. I mean, I can see that where they were going for. It was almost like sort of a little bit of slasher, a little bit of creature feature sort of setup. Which I'm sure, which I'm sure a human being is happy to be fucking slapped into a creature feature as the title creature. Yeah, not fantastic. I checked out Smile 2.
Oh, okay. How is that?
Look, I'd heard really good things. I'd heard that it was a lot better. I probably think it was a bit short of that. I didn't think it was that much better than the first one. And Smile's just like... So it's directed really well and has some very effective moments.
Yeah.
And the lead actress is really good.
Yep.
But it's too long. 2 hours 10 roughly, or 2 hours 8 or something.
10.
Yeah. It just, because towards the middle, towards the end, I was like, let's just kind of get the story going out here.
Smile was that good.
No, Smile, I didn't think it was that good. I could see what they were going for here. And in the early going, say the first half hour or so, I was like, yeah, I think this one might have been sort of taking it up a notch. But by the end of it, I was just kind of like, again, we went through this stretch where I was just like, just get on with it, get on with the story part, because it relies on a lot of the actress being alone and something happening or being in the apartment and we hear a noise and then we kind of get a few of those creepy visuals. Some of it works, but it gets to a point where it's like, okay, but what's happening? What's actually happening here?
Nothing.
We need to speed this up a little.
Is it sort of hiding the fact that not much is actually... There's not much there. There's
Sort
creepy
of.
visuals.
Especially when you get to the end. Which I'd heard the twist was great.
Nah.
Again, some small section of people that were saying it really kind of went out with a bang. But I was just sort of like, ugh. The Smile series perhaps just isn't doing it for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know if I could say it's probably a slight improvement.
Okay.
So yeah, there's that. And the last one I watched was ducked into How to Train Your Dragon at the cinemas.
Oh yeah, how was that?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty good. I actually haven't seen the originals, but I'd started to get a bit more. I'd come across the books a little more, so I thought I'll check this one out and then go back and watch the animated ones. It was actually really good.
Okay.
It's got a lot of themes about like being locked into your sort of parents' expectations and, the path that's been kind of laid out for you and treading your own path and that sort of thing. Just sort of wrapped up in a nice, easily digestible sort of thing that the kids really enjoyed as well. So,
good. That's good.
I quite liked it. Jerry Butler, he's back.
He's back. Yeah, he's back. He's back. He's not making fucking direct to streaming turds like Flight. Anyway. Oh, Plane, sorry, not Flight. Flight's the fucking Denzel one. That's a good movie. Plane was the one I watched. Terrible. Is that it for you?
That's it.
All right. Okay.
Looking for Ratman 2 as we speak.
Jesus. Quick up or down, Jared, because we were fucking way down on this movie. Strangers Chapter 1 we fucking hated. The
in
trailer
unison.
In unison. Yeah, oh yeah. Including some people behind us who told us that it was the worst fucking movie they'd seen. Which they haven't seen Ratman, so
Ratman might be slightly above it.
The Strangers Chapter 2 trailer dropped. Again directed by Rennie Harlan. I actually didn't mind the trailer. It seems like they know how to pull.
I'd say you're excited.
Well, I said if I didn't know what Chapter 1 was, I'd have been fucking frothy.
Of course.
Jesus.
Who's this?
What's this all
new
about?
talent on the scene.
Yeah,
Rennie
Rennie
Harlan.
Harlan.
He looks like he knows what he's doing.
Scandinavian. Big Scandinavian. What's he got to offer? I actually think, look, it's a down because the first movie sucked.
Yeah.
And I think the trailer is an effective trailer because we can make an effective trailer out of the pieces.
Yeah.
Or when we put the pieces, we lay the pieces out into a jigsaw puzzle, it looks like
yeah,
shit.
we've got to fill some spots.
Exactly.
No, it's kind of what you said. Like, I looked at the trailer too and I thought, yeah, there's some parts in here that look pretty good. But we'd sort of already... We went through the first movie and we were being introduced to all these townies at the start of the movie, people in the diner and people at the bloody burger joint and whatever.
That's right.
And we got to the end of it and we all just... We sort of just said, so we've just got to sift through them and determine who's the killers in the next one. Is that
Richard
what we're
Brake
doing?
was there.
Yeah.
He's fucking clearly involved.
yeah, of course. He's the ringleader.
He looked as dodgy as fuck in the first movie.
Yeah, we just... So we know that's what
Where
we're
they're
getting,
going,
that it's going to be... And that's my concern, I guess, is that we're going to be caught up in this who is it out of this lot. But yeah, there's definitely some parts in there that look pretty sound, like the shot of the bloke down the hallway is pretty striking and chasing the girl. And
Mark my words, they all did it.
I actually thought the same thing.
It's fucking
It's the
Murder
whole
on the
town.
Orient Express
Yeah.
done over again.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if you're correct.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I love it, we get a shot of Richard Brake. We get a shot of another bloke licking his teeth.
Yeah, it's
We
like
get a shot of a guy with the smiley face tattoo
yeah,
who she seems to be in league with.
yeah.
But the whole time he's talking like, does there have to be a reason? And I'm like,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
fuck's sake.
And talking down into his
This
chest.
is nauseating
like he's
already.
a fucking psychopath. Like that sort of bullshit.
So, yeah.
But they all did it.
Yeah, you're all in.
Yeah,
You're all
Reddy,
in on this.
you know, there's one thing Reddy does well. It's not change things greatly. So I
Yeah,
suggest this is down by the numbers.
I think you might be on the early going. If we've got a sports tab kind of odds, that's probably
That's pretty good odds.
That's probably $1.60.
Yeah,
at the
$1.60.
moment,
Yeah,
isn't it?
easy $1.60. Some quick news. Michael Bay's developing a new Transformers film to direct. Would you be happy to have him back, Jared?
Maybe not.
No.
But if he's producing,
No, he's directing it.
fuck.
To direct.
Nah, yeah. Look,
I think his time is gone.
yeah, and the ones that he didn't direct, like as soon as he didn't direct,
They were better.
Bumblebee was pretty well received.
But it's all, I mean, they were talking in the article, they were talking about how the box office has dropped off. But I'm like, but that's not the issue. The issue is that Bay had a certain style.
Yeah.
Worked a fucking treat for the first one.
Yep.
Like Bay, I mean, say what you want about Michael Bay, but I think Transformers is really good. And
Yeah,
I
the
think-
first
I think
one's all right. Yeah.
He delivers well on
Yep.
what that is.
Yep.
But you only got to watch the next couple to realise.
Part 2 was a fucking shit show.
Yeah, so his style just we lost interest.
I remember going to the drive-in to watch part 2,
Fucking hell.
and at about the 2-hour mark, I had said sorry to my missus. Like,
Well, let me tell you something. When fucking poor old John Turturro is fucking making testicle jokes at one point about fucking Devastator,
yeah,
I'm just like, oh God.
yeah.
So I'm not real
But
keen.
regardless of the returns, Bumblebee's the best one since the first one.
Oh,
Clearly.
for sure.
Except
And
for
look,
Johnny Cena, he
Oh.
didn't know what he was doing in there. But other than that, everything was all right.
but he should move on. This isn't
Yeah.
like you can be a producer
Yeah,
if you want. Like I don't care. But I think the days of his films, his sort of like stamp on a film being like, well, yeah, well, we'll go check that out. I think they're well and truly over.
yeah,
Well and truly.
yeah. I think I'd agree with that.
Okay, some more Dave Bautista news.
Hit me.
With his range going even further, he's signed up for a romantic comedy called The Romantic.
Did you get that off The Onion?
No. I think it's an April Fool's Day joke. No, Batista wanted to be in a
Is it an
rom-com.
action?
No,
Fuck.
not as far as I can tell.
Okay.
But
All right.
Batista, like, this is
This
why I
might be
like...
stretching too
No,
far.
Jared, this is why I like Batista. Because this is way outside the comfort zone. Like,
Yeah.
fucking, why not? The guy, it's not like he's going to be blacklisted from Hollywood
No,
because he
shit,
made a
no.
rom-com.
And from everything I hear, the guy is attempting to work on his acting.
Yes.
Apparently, there's that he spends time actually trying to better his craft as an actor.
So sorry. His job's an actor. He's actually trying to get better at it.
Yeah, well-
like some of these other fuckwits.
Well,
out there.
I don't want to point fingers at The Rock, but I don't think The Rock is worried about that. I think he's just doing his thing. And the Smashing Machine is the first time in years that we've got The Rock trying to stretch
himself.
the muscles, the acting muscles. a
So, I
little.
mean, that's the reason why I brought this up, Jared. I knew you'd scoff. which you have.
Yeah, I did.
But this is why I like Batista, because that's what you're supposed to do as an actor. You're supposed to be able to do fucking everything.
Yeah.
Right? If you want to be seriously considered as an actor and continue to get work,
Do different
it shouldn't be because I make action movies.
He's leaned out too.
He has
He's
fucking
lost
leaned
a
out big
shitload
time.
of muscle and
Weight. So, yeah. But I think that's part of what this is about, Jared.
Yeah.
He's no longer going to wrestle.
Yeah.
He's no longer going to rely on my presence, my size makes me something.
And I wish The Rock would be that definitive, because he decided he wanted to wrestle and then he fucked everything up because he left.
But then Johnny
Decided
Cena.
I'm not going to be at WrestleMania. Well, fuck, we've just set up this whole storyline with you, you idiot.
So Johnny Cena, he's still a big boy. So he's been able to carry that into some other roles.
Yeah.
Like some other interesting roles. So
Then he did freelance and he's back in the ring, unsurprisingly.
shit. Fucking hell, that's a kind of a film. And one more thing to say. Unfortunately, the box office for one Megan 2.0 is not going to be good, according to what I've read.
No.
It's going to be a very lean opening weekend, somewhere in the vicinity of about 10. So that tells me it's going to be a bomb. Everything I've read review-wise is exactly what I was concerned about.
Well, it's the reviews have,
It went
from
to-
what I've seen, have kind of leveled out to about the same as the first one.
Have they?
Like just middling, sort of.
My favourite guy, my guy, who I always go to, he basically said that switch, it felt like the first movie summed it all up. And that this felt like it was, it wasn't necessary.
Yeah, which is look,
Which is probably the case.
probably right, but I think it's like sitting at about a 60% or 58% or something on Rotten Tomatoes.
Is that what the first one was? Only 58%?
Well,
I thought the first one was pretty well received.
Yeah, I don't know if it was well received. Like, it did all right, but the reviews that I kind of hung around were all around that sort of
Megan
3 out of 5.
Megan
3.5 out of 5.
was box office win. Like, it was a fucking win at the box office. But I just remember it being better received. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe it was just sort of middling.
Yeah, I think as far as I know, it was never received more than just like a
standard kind of, okay, not bad sort of thing.
Yeah, pretty much. So I think
So what's Megan 2 at? 58?
what everything's sort of shaken out to is it's
What's
about
Megan
the same.
at? What's Megan at?
It appears to have grossed 4.5 at this point
4.5 on the first day.
worldwide. Yeah,
Yeah, not good.
no.
No, Megan, review-wise, 93%
On Rotten Tomatoes.
Rotten Tomatoes, yeah.
Well, let me check on I'll check on a
Check on
letterbox here,
Letterboxd,
because
yeah.
I believe all the stuff I was reading was never more than sort of positive but not high praise. So Megan is a 2.7 on Letterboxd,
Jesus.
which is about right.
Yeah, that's about right.
2.0 is sitting at a 3, but that will probably shake out to a little bit under. So yeah, it's about the same.
Yeah.
From everything I've read, and some of that's going direct to places that I know reviewed it the first time around and whatnot. It's kind of, it's basically
When I
in
saw
line.
the box office for it, I thought it had been directed by Jeff Wadlow, but it hadn't.
No.
So,
But yeah, I think it's about what
it's
about what I expected, but I thought it would probably do a little
Jared,
better.
is
than
this concerning as a slight tangent? Is Blumhouse, is there concern in the Blumhouse camp?
They're slipping.
Because
I'm concerned.
you don't even
Are you?
work there.
Are you?
Yeah.
We just don't seem to
Shit,
have
yeah.
the freshness to, or they're just not.
It's too pronged, Jared.
The strike rate is not there with real high quality stuff. But even some of the middling ones in the period before probably the last 4, 5
Yeah.
years were interesting ideas that maybe didn't work out as well as you had hoped. But you're happy to watch them and get you thinking about.
Well, let me put it to you this way. It's two pronged for mine. I mean, I'm selling off my shares in Blumhouse immediately. Like right now,
Yeah.
I'm selling off shares.
I'll buy the dip. I'll take it while it's low.
But
It's cheap.
you're not getting the interest, the interesting films
Yep.
and ideas, and you're also not making money because they're not making money.
No, that's right. But
no, they're making money in
Are
Blumhouse
you
terms.
officially selling?
No, I'm not selling.
Some of you
I'm
'Cause I'll
selling
scoop
some
it
of
up.
my. I'm selling some of my stock, and the
Because they
reason,
just bought out Atomic Monster
Yeah.
for the rights to Saw.
yeah, I know, I saw that.
So
That doesn't fucking do
yeah.
anything. Like that doesn't fill
But
me
there's
with a
still
lot of
cash
great
in
things.
Saw.
What I would like to see,
There's still some cash there.
what I want to know is what's in their up and coming slate.
Yeah.
Because is there anything? My sale of units would relate to what's coming up.
So they need. Well, they're doing the. Are they involved in the Exorcist one that Mike Flanagan's doing?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think you're right. Like, there's just
Black Phone.
I don't know
too.
what's happening, but I guess the thing is they're probably still not losing money.
No, they're not.
just not making as much as they were.
No, it's not like Blumhouse is going to close the doors tomorrow.
No, fuck no.
Fucking definitely not.
It's just
They're still making
okay,
money.
Well, let's get rid of the fucking fourth coffee machine. We'll just have three.
But it's not about that. It's about the wanting to getting people to work with you.
Yeah.
As the stuff's not as good, people won't reach in. Okay.
No, it's going to be a harder sell.
So hard to sell to someone like Jordan Peele. Say,
Yeah.
you can't get him back
No, that's right.
because but the
Well,
last
you're
fucking
looking-
6 movies you made, they're all shit.
But their methods, I guess, are they're looking for the next Jordan Peele. That's
Yeah.
always been.
But if Peele, I guess the other thing about Blumhouse is if Peele's looking to make an interesting movie,
he might look
Blumhouse-
back at that as the place to go because he's going to get
he's going to get the bigger
the
backing.
freedom and the yeah.
Yeah, but also if he couldn't sell something to someone else, he might be in Blumhouse's camp because Blumhouse will let him do it.
Yeah.
So that's one positive. That's one positive they've always going to have.
Yep.
The other positive is they make movies for fuck all.
Yes.
So I mean, Megan 2.0 makes fuck all money, like shit
They were
money.
creeping up though. They were creeping up.
but it
How much do you
costs,
reckon
like,
Megan cost?
Probably
Megan
30.
Yeah. So that's the problem. If you're only making fucking 4 or if they shake out opening weekend at 10, that's trouble.
Yeah, because that's 20 for the fucking run, pretty much.
Yeah. I reckon
You lose 50% straight away. So you got to make some overseas box office, and that's not really where they make their money,
Yeah.
really. So yeah, look, I'm not selling yet, Jared, but I want to see the slate.
You're fucking calling for, are you agitating like the board at Disney? Are you calling for fucking changes in leadership and that sort of shit? You're going to start a website
No,
saying bring back the magic?
No, I'm not going to do that because fuck. I mean, if you looked at them just X's and O's, dollar signs,
Yeah.
they're fucking well and truly in the
Yeah.
red.
And it's a 5-year.
Killing it.
It's probably about 5 years, right?
Yeah.
Since
It's been
probably
bad.
like a 5-year dip after a decade of really good build.
some pretty good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, they need to get their hands on Texas Chainsaw or Elm Street.
Yeah, Friday the
or
13th
Friday
would
the
be the
13th.
one.
I think
me.
that's the ticket back.
I would love to see what they do with Friday the 13th.
That's the ticket back because I think they would give it. They put it in the hands of someone like Flanagan, who's been talking about how he's got a really good idea for Elm Street for the last fucking 5 years. So yeah, I think that's the ticket back.
Agreed.
But really, like, they only need one of these original ones to hit.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think, the
Just
Black
like-
Phone.
Just
the
like
Black
Megan
Phone
did.
2
Just like Black Phone did. Just like
Because
Happy
I
Death Day
think
did.
the Black Phone seems to have a bit more kind of hold than I thought it did. Because I didn't think the first one was all that good. I liked the idea, and there was parts of it that I was in on. But all in all, I wasn't a huge fan of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems to have a bit of a hold. So maybe Black Phone 2 is going to be a bit of a low key.
What I've noticed though, Jared, and this is not, I'd have to look at the full numbers, but the sequels to these real good ones have been very lesser.
Yeah.
Like I only look at Happy Death Day to you to be like, fuck me. Like that,
Yeah. That
talk
derailed the
about
third one.
screwing. Yeah, talk about screwing the pooch there. That was just bad.
Yeah.
Right. Every time they've kind of stretched to a sequel, it hasn't done as much box office.
Mm.
Even in Halloween.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
Halloween 2018, huge numbers, excellent movie.
And then slowly.
Halloween Kills, less numbers, not as good. Halloween Ends, definitely not as good, less money.
Yep.
Like, it just, everything went down.
Yep.
That's not a trajectory that you want. Like,
But it's the standard trajectory.
but
It's the rare. I reckon it's usually rarer for films to go go like second.
I
movie
think
just-
sequels have now the good old days of the 80s where sequels were fucking the further on the sequel, the more money was getting made.
Yeah,
Like the Rockies and the Rambos and the fucking
Yep.
Die Hards and all that. They were all making more money,
yeah.
even though they
It's
were
kind
nowhere
of like
near as good as the first.
they're somewhat bankable, which is why they keep making them. But I think sequels do tend to dip.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see the numbers, especially if you took out something like Marvel.
Yeah.
Because even Marvel's fucking suffering now, like in terms of
Because I reckon Thunderbolts is going to cost them like fucking 150 million.
yeah, which
They're
is a
out of
shame
pocket.
because it was all right.
They're out of
compared to
pocket
some of their
150 million.
Yeah.
Holy shit, Jared. That tells you how expensive they were.
Yep.
Like, fuck. That. So I read something the other day, Mission Impossible. It's going to lose. They'll be lucky to break even. They said they'll be very lucky. They need to get to 600.
I actually saw this conversation. Like it was on a social media site. So it was like some guy who was clearly in the know about movies was saying this is the latest Mission Impossible is going to be a flop. He put the word flop in there.
Yeah.
And someone fucking got up him. He's like, it's made this much money.
No,
How the
but-
fuck can you
yeah.
call that a flop? And he's like, well, in simple terms, mate, it's like the money they spent versus what they're going to get back.
Yeah.
And it's not just they spent this, there was a marketing budget as well.
Yeah.
And so, yes, you can put the term flop there.
Well, it is. Yeah, it's a flop.
Yeah.
For the information I read said they needed to get to 600
Yes.
to be a break even.
What does that do to Cruise? Is he back in the territory prior to Top Gun 2 where we were talking?
No, Jared,
Who
that does
needs this
nothing
bloke?
to Cruise.
Who needs-
Absolutely nothing to Cruise. Cruise has moved on. To him, it's a roaring success
No.
because what he does is he fucking he
You know
puts
the
in
latest,
his time and his
yeah,
effort.
the latest
and he
talk
fucks
I was
off.
hearing on Cruise?
What?
The guy doesn't know how to do a press tour anymore.
Doesn't know how to do a press
Because they spent squillions on doing the press tour that used to work for him, which was like you send him around the world, you
Glad
put him
handling.
on the yeah. They're like, that's not the press tour anymore. They're like, the press tour is Timothy Chalamet showing up on the Theo Von podcast and then turning up at a Timothy Chalamet lookalike contest to get viral numbers up. That's a press tour now.
yeah.
And
Cruise-
they're like, Cruise is
Cruise
like,
needs to-
no, that's not a press tour.
Cruise needs to just vary his
Yeah.
shit now because you know what he would be slaying if he was doing that shit
Yeah.
because
but he
he's
wont.
fucking
He won't.
he's
He's not going to go on a
peak
podcast.
of his
We know
that's
why
right
he's not going to go on a podcast.
because he's going to get asked some shit he doesn't
Yeah.
want to be fucking
Correct.
answering
That's right.
and it's live.
Yeah.
So Mission Impossible's break even means it's a flop.
Correct.
If you didn't make any money, that's a fucking flop.
But Mission Impossible, it's like that shit's shot on IMAX.
Yeah.
Because Tommy's working the IMAX numbers. So you've got the IMAX screens and you're still breaking even. There's a lot of press.
Exactly. So there's a lot of money
Yeah.
being spent. Mission Impossible should have stepped down Ghost Protocol Fallout period where they made like 900, made plenty of bank.
Yeah.
That's when they should have fucking put that thing to bed. But fuck, we've been talking for an hour.
No, we've been gibbering, but it's great stuff. Mate.
Yeah, it's great stuff. It's fucking. Everyone's hooked.
It's 20 minutes
you
of
talk
poop
about a
cruise.
cruise where you can't crap, and people fucking
I
flop.
think we went deep on that about the societal issues.
I
and the
went
fucking-
like ankle deep in someone else's shit.
Exactly. Oh, fuck. I actually, after watching that, last comment from me, but after watching that, I actually want them to put people out on a cruise for 2 weeks with no power and then see how they come back.
Yeah, exactly.
And see who's painting their face with other people's blood and shit like that. Like, because it'll happen. My faith in humanity has been destroyed by the poop
Yeah, well,
cruise.
we know where fucking Max Rochansky's going to come from. It's
Yeah.
going to come from some fucking prick stuck out.
Trust
of
me, mate. If there's a 2-week fucking issue with our food supply,
We only got to look at COVID. We were punching each other over a fucking stack of bog roll. Like,
Yeah.
COVID is the exactly what
COVID is poop cruise on dry land, mate.
It is. Normal people were fucking acting like that because they couldn't get some shit roll.
Yeah. Yep.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Yep.
I mean, I'll have a shower.
Yeah, but you won't have water. What do you do then? I'll get the
no,
leaf blower.
no,
out.
during
But,
COVID,
oh, fuck,
during
I got
COVID.
no power. Shit.
During COVID, I was like, oh fuck, I'll just bloody fucking shower
Yeah.
and fucking clean my ass out.
Yep.
That's how they do it in other countries.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yep.
All right. let's fucking shut up.
This is
Let's go straight into it because
This
there's
is
only
A-grade
one
material
trailer for
here.
this show, so I can't actually fucking separate it every
okay.
episode.
Straight into it.
Straight into it. Hell Motel, episode 2. I'm going to come straight out and say it was pretty fucking clunky. It was a pretty poor episode.
Little flat.
It was very flat. It was slow. Not much happened. We didn't really get much, even in the way of like character development.
No.
So, and
It
fucking
felt like. Sorry.
Go
Katie.
on.
I was just going to say it felt like the prime example of why 6 episodes for the previous 2 seasons of Slasher was better than 8.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. No, I can cop 8 if you're going to do something every episode. You need to, just killing someone is not enough. You need to flesh things out a bit. This episode did nothing.
But it's easier to do in 6.
Yeah, true, because you can condense it up.
Yep.
One of the huge problems was just how dumb these characters are. I know these are slasher movies. I know we expect stupidity. But gone are the days of the Friday the 13th where it was kind of like you separate people by fucking looking for their hairbrush.
Yeah.
We don't cop that much anymore. What we cop is give me a slightly plausible reason why you might do this.
Yeah.
And we'll go along.
But so I've got a couple of issues with the episode, but isn't the idea of taking this slasher and stretching it to 6 episodes, 8 episodes, like allowing us to indulge in a little more of the characters and their relationships, and
yes,
which I think was what they kind of, in the last 2 seasons of Slasher that we got, the one with Cronenberg was more, I wouldn't say it was necessarily the character development, but they allowed a few more twists and turns with the relationships of the characters and a little bit of the dark humour.
Mm-hmm.
And then the one that was the Ripper was, I actually felt like they did build a little bit of character into that one, and they did kind of allow us a little more time to dig into a couple. For example, like the Margaret Mahar character that they were talking about in particular terms, but then over the later episodes we learn, she's got links to these people, and it was a bit more like this, not like that sort of. And it's this, we're lacking it here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm going to say this. It better lift its fucking game pretty quick because it hasn't got a lot of time.
Fired up.
Hasn't got a lot of time.
But that's got it's got 2 more episodes than those last 2.
You've got to right the ship quickly, right? So episode 3's got to be a bit of a banger. Get us back on track.
Yeah.
Get us back on the rails, because this one took us off the rails, did nothing for us, and I'm going to be pretty scathing about character decision making, which I was just like, what the fuck is happening here?
Yeah.
And then there's one particular sequence that I just thought, it could have played all right, but it was so badly handled. I was just like, Jesus Christ. This is what I give this episode, 2 out of 5.
Yeah.
I think it's slipped.
I was exactly there.
2 out of 5.
And I want to say, before we fucking lay the boot in, I'm a fan of what these guys are doing. Look, I'm a fan of what these guys are doing.
Yeah, true.
They've been doing it for a few years.
I like the fact that they're doing it.
Yeah. It's the only fucking TV show we've ever covered on, week to week on this, because we enjoy it. We enjoy that they've come back time and again, and I felt they were in a bit of a groove with the last couple of seasons, coming up with some different ideas, and they've tried again here, but the second episode it really fell apart from the first one. Like, the stuff that I liked about the first one was just
jettisoned almost.
So not much of the black comedy,
no,
or the humorous takes, or the trying to have a few digs at the whole true crime fucking obsession that we've got in our culture at the moment. Was that partly because we're missing Eric McCormack?
I think so.
He was missed.
Yeah, oh, fuck yeah.
He was missed.
Even just for a little bit of, scathing wit and a few jokes and
come
shit.
in and fucking sneer and
tell a few blokes they're dickheads or something and then leave.
Yeah.
Like, we missed that greatly.
Yes.
And
big time.
I mean, fuck. This guy's getting an ego. Eric McCormack gets an ego stroke from this podcast because fuck me, he was by far the best thing about the first episode, and not to have him not there was just like Fuck.
Yeah, and I also I missed, what's her name? Paula Branchetti.
Yeah, she was also not there.
Because I know I think it was Slasher season 4 where we tagged her character as just a chore.
No,
basically.
that was Solstice, wasn't it? Season
Solstice,
3.
yes, it was Solstice.
Shit,
That's
yeah,
right.
she was
That's
a
right.
chore.
But she was pretty good in the first episode, and I thought we might
Dig into her.
because she's I thought with this is where we're going to get a little meta. She's the final girl in the movies, but she's the final girl in our TV show.
Yeah.
So I thought this
Yeah,
was going to
maybe.
be like, we're going to follow her. Not necessarily that she's going to be the final girl, but it's like, okay, they're placing her as the character that we're going to follow.
Yeah.
Because this episode, I didn't know who I should have been looking at.
No, because they never,
have a through
tied it
line.
down.
Yeah. So that was a bit of a struggle. So yeah, it was all just a bit of a mishmash.
It was looking at characters that I, didn't really care for.
Yeah. Yeah, side characters.
Yeah.
And this if you fill in 8 episodes, I guess you have to, but it's got to be like, it's almost got to be like meticulously planned through the season of when we have whoever we're going to follow through the season or whatever, but still mask the fact that they're not the killer. And
Yeah.
so yeah, I think it just fell a little bit flat this episode. I was at a 2 as well.
Likes. What you said at the end of the last episode, the 2 characters who've returned from 95, them being, when they have a little discussion about how, well, we were going to do that, but fucking someone's got in there ahead of us.
Yes.
I was like, yeah, that's good.
Yes.
That's a cool idea.
And
we now need to work out who's doing this.
Correct. And that was where I thought this is going to be really interesting, watching from the perspective of we've got a copycat.
Yeah.
So we're actually going to be following the original killers, trying to figure out who the copycat is. We got a little bit of that.
Little bit. And it was okay.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
I do. When you try to pick up Eric McCormack's body and your fucking arm falls
That was the only hint of the fucking humour that I got. I did laugh a little bit and I was kind of disgusted.
Jesus.
But then later on when she's talking about his arm came off like a well-cooked piece of meat or something like that.
Jared.
I was like,
You
That made me
know
laugh a
where
little
I'm
bit.
going on this one.
Yeah,
where
yeah.
we get down to the stretch of who did it.
yeah, of course. Of
You
course.
know where I'm at.
Of course.
But it was practical effects. It was fucking gross.
Mm.
And it had a little bit of dark humour.
Yep.
Which I liked.
Yes.
And the only other thing I had, Jared, was the death of Portia. The black glove over the mouth, the knife coming through the bed, had a real Jell-O kind of style,
You're right. Yep.
which I thought was cool.
Yeah, I didn't love it at first, but you're right. I think it did have some of that
Jell-O
influence.
leanings,
Yes.
but I liked it. Killed next to her girlfriend
Yeah.
without
yeah.
the girlfriend knowing about it.
But if that was me in the bed next to him, I would have woken up. I'd have been like, "Stop breathing so heavily.
Yeah. Stop breathing, fucking period.
You're waking me up."
Well, my wife probably told me a few times, fucking stop breathing so loud.
Can you just fucking stop existing? Can you just fuck off? I'll get a good night's sleep if that's the case. Yeah.
That was it for me,
Yep. So
as
I
far
had,
as likes were concerned.
I had one more. I felt the only other scene in the episode that really sort of was close to working for me was the interaction between Crow and Floyd when they're that's his name, isn't it? Floyd, the original killer.
Is that his name?
I think he said his
When
name
they're
was
out on the
Floyd
road?
in that instance. When they're out on the road and the wolf is there,
Yeah.
I sort of dug. There was a little bit about Crow deciding that this guy's full of shit
Yeah.
when he's talking about his hunter sort of instincts and all this sort of stuff. There was a bit of an atmosphere to it, like the fucking the lighting of just like the moon and all that sort of stuff, or what they were going for. And there was a little bit of back and forth between these two where I was like, okay, well, we're sort of raising some tension in the group a little bit.
Yeah.
We're agitating a little in the group.
A little bit.
It wasn't a super successful scene, but it was the only other one in the episode that really kind of perked me up a little bit and said, okay, well, we're moving somewhere here.
Yeah.
And Crow comes back and says to the other bloke, this guy's a killer.
Yeah.
So I'm sort of I don't know where that's going, but it was the only other part of the episode where I was like, this feels really
There was
like
some
we're progressing something.
trying something was progressing. I didn't particularly like the scene outside with the wolf. That's the one I'll talk about a little more depth. Not because of the idea of it wasn't all right. It was the delivery of it. Like it just had no fucking weight. It was.
Does this have to do with Crow?
No, just
you're not a fan of Crow, are you?
No, I'm not. But but it was super flat.
Yeah.
There should have been tension in that sequence because he was coming up behind him to kill him.
Yes.
Right?
He was.
Because he even said to his missus, "Can I kill him?"
Yeah. Yep.
There should have been tension. There should have been this crackle about, is he going to fucking neck him right now?
Yep.
There was no crackle. None. And then old mate comes bumbling up behind.
There was a little bit of crackle, but I felt it was in the dialogue after that.
Yeah, after that.
So, yeah.
In that sequence out with the wolf, there
just
was
a touch.
No crackle.
Just a little bit of crackle.
And then
probably not fully cooked. Probably could have done with a little bit extra.
Old mate comes
oil
bumbling out.
Yeah.
That other fucking idiot comes bumbling out behind him. And I thought, again, a little more crackle here because now he can't kill him.
Yeah.
If he has to kill them both, they don't have the numbers.
Yep.
For this fucking ritual they're going to do. The poop crews are going to fucking run later on today. But
they're doing a poop fan, aren't they?
There was no fucking crackle in that either. And I was just like, oh, Christ. So, dislikes, that was one of them. But we should room together. What are you, fucking crazy? I mean, everybody is a fucking potential murderer.
Yeah.
Just, you know what? Yeah. I'm going to the kitchen, getting snacks, heading back to my room and fucking bunkering that shit down.
I'll tell you the one thing that worked for that. They understood that, there's a male and there's a decent-looking female.
Yeah. That's how they played it. That's how they played it. Yeah. Old mate had been stabbed, though, previously.
Yes, he had.
So I'd be like, look, I would love to fuck you. Here. I would love to have sex with you, but I'm just not going to.
I also love living.
Because I like to live
staying alive.
And I'd like to keep my dick.
Impossible. Impossible.
Thank you.
But that
was number one.
That would be best case scenario. If I happen to get out of here alive with my penis attached.
That one I was disappointed in, but I was like, okay, male, good-looking woman, male with a stiffy. Probably not that hard to get that to happen. Yeah. Then I was like, followed up with Crow and the other bloke going, oh, do you want to hang out?
Yeah, so you want to share a bag of almonds? I fucking hate almonds. Go away. I'm fucking anaphylactic.
I was like, why don't you just come in here and murder me?
Yeah.
Because you know what? I am begging to get murdered.
So I don't have as much issue with that because you've got to find a way for him to interact somehow, but a little better than that.
No, interacting's fine. Because
the second
Crow and old mate
had
the interaction already.
Yeah. So the first one...
That was in the bar.
First one I had less issue with because they played it like, this man's going to he's going to allow himself to be dictated by the fact that he thinks she's hot.
Yeah. And he's happy to... But then he's happy to get fucking strapped to the bed.
Yeah. As soon as she pulls out the handcuffs, the shirt's back on. I'm going to my room.
Yeah, what? This is totally natural. It's fucking doggy style.
Yeah. The second she pulls those out, in the midst of someone having just been murdered, it's like, we're off. Yeah, we're off here. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's on. It's on, but
we need to find a different way to do this.
We are not. You're not handcuffing me to the fucking bed.
The second one I did have some issues with. They started it, they obviously tried to start it with the guy being somewhat won over by Crow's charms.
I know.
Jeez, you're really wise. You kept kind of talking
and
about
I'm like,
you really know
that guy has talked nothing but shite.
Yeah, you are. If it's me, I'm sitting there going, you've been dribbling for 20 minutes and I need some sleep. So let's fucking go back to our room.
Hang on,
you go to yours, I'm going to mine.
I'll be like, I'm going to cut you off there. Shut the fuck up.
And when he goes, did you take some almonds? Because I'd love to share them. I say, no, I didn't. And then I go shuffling off and a bag of almonds fucking breaks and fucking starts spewing all over the floor. Oh, fuck, I didn't know they were there.
They're not almonds, they're pecans. Now, shut up. But But in true Poop Crew style, Jared, when someone says, we probably just need to bunker down, eat some food, take whatever you like, I am fucking pushing people out of the way and running to the kitchen like my bum's on fire.
In Poop Crew style, everyone goes, we're locking ourselves in our room. And they come down the hallway and here's my fucking shanty town. I've dragged my mattress into the hallway and calling strength in numbers.
I'm fucking preaching from the Bible, from the Gideons. It's in the fucking.
The Gideons are streaking in fucking shit. I think you're right with that one. The second one didn't work out so much for me because
it's kind of like, what the fuck, like, somebody was fucking baked. Like they're fucking. It's not like they tripped and fucking fell over and hit their head and died.
Yeah, they're roasted almonds.
They were fucking baked like a ham.
Yeah.
Clearly, some prick is fucking looking to knock us all out. Yep. Now, what I think could have been cool, and who knows, it may come up, but the rooms have fucking secret entrances and shit.
Yeah.
So people are you think you're safe, you think you can protect yourself, but you can't.
Well, you look at and again, I'll go back to the previous two seasons of Slasher because they were our favourites, but the season before that one, you had to get them together because they were going through this process of playing the games for cash.
Yes.
Which was a decent motivator.
Yes.
And then the season after, it was like set in a town. So they are going back to their homes and shit, but it's impossible not to see anyone because we're in a fucking... Yeah. We're living in a society. Things are going to keep going.
Keep happening.
So that's why it makes it harder for this one where we're all able to separate into our own rooms. Yes. I think they needed to go harder on that early until it's like, I'm out of bog roll. I need to knock on someone's door. I'm hungry.
Or room service.
Yeah. The one that they
I don't remember ordering anything.
Again, giving them points, they got it right that people were coming across each other in the kitchen because I'm going for 10 minutes and then I'm sniffing out the kitchen. Yeah. I'm like, where's the pizza
coming out of there with like 7 sandwiches on a plate.
Yeah. Where's the shapes? Where's the Mars bars?
Half a dozen fucking beers.
Yeah, exactly. So they got that part right.
Back to my room.
Well, that's why I would not be able to stay stuck in my room because I need a drink. I'm out of beer. I'm out of snacks. I've urinated so much from all the beers that my toilet's fucked, so I've got to use someone else's.
You know what, though, Jared? Me having that fucking discussion in my own head, it'd be like 2 minutes. I go like, you know what, there's a murderer loose, but I need some fucking TV snacks.
I need to go for a walk. Yeah.
I'd be like, TV snacks, murder.
Yeah.
TV snacks.
I mean, I'd be the idiot. They'd be like, well, everyone's locked in their rooms. Then 10 minutes later, here I come to go for a dip in the hotel pool. Like,
yeah.
Well, fuck, I need to entertain myself somehow. Functional fitness.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just sort of like, okay, we're all going to go back to our rooms and bunker down. Where's the gym?
Yeah. There's no one in there now. This is a perfect time to use it. So,
I want to do 15Ks in the Pyrenees.
I think that's the character we're missing
here. Yeah, okay. My last one's another fucking stupidity effort. Like, Portia, you'd think like, there's a murderer loose, Jared, who fucking ham-baked some prick. And you take a shit...
I saw cloves in that motherfucker.
Yeah. He had a fucking lemon stuck up
his clacker. Exactly.
But she takes a shitload of fucking sleeping pills.
Yeah.
And I'm like, keep your you want a clear head, don't you?
Oh, of
course. You want a clear head. So
I draw the line at beer. And about 12 per night.
Oh, yeah. If my door's locked...
I can stay clear on 12.
No, if my door... Jared...
You come and talk to me after 6. I think you'll find I'm pretty well above board.
You're pretty lucid, are you?
Yeah, then we can determine whether I can have the next 6-pack or not.
Well, you know what? I test the fucking strength of the lock, and then that dictates how much piss I'll have.
Yeah. The lock's fine. I can have 18 tonight. It's looking good.
The killer wouldn't even have to kill me. I'd fucking kill myself with grog poisoning.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so yeah, I mean these decisions, people would argue, but that's not the point. The point is it's slashes where people always make dumb decisions.
Yes,
but
it's got to be a believable.
But you're stretching this to 8 episodes, so we shouldn't have to be suspending disbelief for some knobhead to get killed.
Yeah, no, I think you accept dumb decisions from dumb characters and stuff like that, but the people that are making dumb decisions in some cases have presented themselves as perfectly capable characters that they make a dumb decision, you know. Yeah. So it's all in context, right? And I think you're right. It does come across as like, oh, did we need to do that?
Yeah, we're desperate. We're desperate to separate someone from something, or someone makes stupid decisions, gets them killed.
Yeah,
I understand that, but I found these to be really kind of forced.
Yeah,
forced. So the conversation between Crow and old mate, that then they walk back to the room and he goes, "Did you want to hang out?"
Yeah, yeah.
I just felt like this is bullshit. Like, you wouldn't ask this.
I've heard enough of your shit for one night. I've got beers to drink.
Yeah, you fucking. I hope you run into the murderer on the way back to your room.
Then doors are locked. We're on lockdown for 2 minutes, and I burst out going, "My fucking TV's not working. Anyone got the Wi-Fi
room
password?
Service. Where is the concierge?"
If the Wi-Fi's down too, I'm fucking leaving a shit review on Yelp when I get back into
your
coverage.
Yelp review's fucking 1 star, asshole.
I think my biggest issue with this episode was we started to go down the track of the two killers thinking, fuck, we've got a copycat here, which initially I was like, yes, this is what I want to see.
Exactly.
I want to see another murder with these two fucking on the scene thinking, fuck, that was
They're
ours.
stealing our fucking...
Yeah. Or a scene
thunder.
where you're not sure who it is. Is it the old? Is it the new? Like those sorts of things. And we kind of got that. We didn't know who the last one was, but I guess we're assuming we're leaning towards new, the new killer.
Yes.
And this is why I'm still optimistic. I still think there's some things to play with there, but the more people we cut out of the group, the less mystery we have about it all.
Yes.
But my issues started, I'm not sure I love the Satanist angle.
Yeah.
Because we start talking about sacrifices to Baphomet, and that's the reason we're back, because we're was it Saturn or something?
Yeah,
So
some of that
was
was
Saturn.
fucking
I was
garbage.
just sort of like, I much preferred it when it was just two lunatics that I thought were just back on the scene to just indulge in their own handiwork.
Shit. Yeah.
I thought that was just simple enough and was fine.
I mean, obviously the first episode kind of, there was something going on, Satanism-wise, because we got the sense of all that. But I'm with you. That stuff was just gobbledygook. They're just talking, and I'm just like, ugh.
It's kind of less interesting to me than just focusing on we've got two people that are fucking just here to gleefully fucking take in their own work.
Yeah.
And people, that's serial killer stuff, right?
Yeah.
People looking for the notoriety.
Yes.
And you've happened to fucking find out that there's a group of 8 influencers of, various kind of measure, or people involved in true crime in various measure back here because of your doing.
Yeah.
That screams, 2 serial killers just fucking sitting there taking it all in. That's what they want, right? Like, to me, that was enough.
Yeah, agreed.
I didn't necessarily need the Satanist. I wanted the more... And I think it kind of maybe works better that, hey, someone's trying to take our shine.
Yes.
We're getting what we want, but someone else is cutting in on this.
Yes.
And it's not theirs, it's ours.
Yeah, that would have been... But I feel like that would be cleaner.
To me, that was enough. I'm not sure where the Satanist
Satanism
stuff
angle
is going.
hasn't played its cards yet, but still, I don't like what I'm seeing there.
No, I didn't love that part of it, but again, I'm open. I thought, we'll see what happens over the coming episodes. And the last one for me was the we kind of spoke about the dark humor and that, but I think they started to miss I think the first episode we kind of got an opportunity to have a look at, just occasionally just hold up a bit of a mirror to the whole true crime phenomenon that's on at the moment, podcasts and TV shows. And I thought we were going to get that. You know, we've got a character who makes her name by going around and screwing serial killers. So I thought, okay, well, we're on the track of maybe a little bit of conversation about who's taken this too far. We're right in that realm. People doing bloody true crime tourism, which to me is where it starts to get into a little bit of, oh, this is kind of
it's
a little bit
unsavory,
ghoulish.
yes.
Yeah. So I thought we might do a little bit of that, and it was just totally dropped again. I mean, I think there was parts of it in the scene between the girl and old mate that had been cut up that they were sort of trying to put a little bit of that in there, but I just didn't get as much of it. I didn't get as much of it, yeah.
It was really clunky.
Yep.
That was everything from me. How about you?
Yep, same.
Okay, who's your suspect? Episode 2.
Honestly,
suspect. Where are you?
I wasn't moving along any further, really. I didn't have a whole lot. You know, the funny thing is I pulled Crow out of my ass last week because I was just like, this guy's talking shit.
But he firmed?
But he firmed a bit because he was talking like a fucking cult leader when they were in the kitchen, and he's winning this bloke over with his smooth talking. I sort of dropped that towards the end of the episode where we go past his room and he's there going, fucking screaming at himself. I'm like, shit.
Screaming, wondering why he has to shit in a bag.
He's too loose.
Is it that guy?
Yeah. I think he's sitting there going, I just flung the last bag out the window. He was a bit too loose, and I think the girl that is screwing serial killers was a bit too loose.
Yeah, and too easy.
And I think it actually plays into what you were saying. Like someone like the final girl, because she was completely off to the side in this one.
See, I've switched.
Okay.
Eric McCormack.
You're back on it?
Yep. His arm came off like a piece of ham.
Like his arm came off exactly like the body that he cooked.
Correct. And I was like, McCormack's still alive.
The only thing I've got to say about that is that was one of my first thoughts.
It's a cheat.
It's a fucking cheat.
Massive cheat, but I could see it going there because
I could see it going
because
it's part of the sell of the fucking whole hotel. Because at the moment it's him and it's the owner.
Oh, Jared.
So I don't know.
Hang on a second.
I don't know.
Hang on. I've got another idea.
You've shifted.
Percolating.
We've got no idea.
April Fool's Day.
Yeah. Well, that was... See, when the body came out that he'd cooked,
yes,
that was my first thought. This is a sell for the hotel, and we're going to put on basically, like a
murder mystery weekend. But there's 2 murderers there.
Yeah,
right.
That would actually work with real murderers and fake murderers.
Yeah, that would be kind of interesting.
So that's on the table. The only thing for that is I didn't like him talking to the person. It would be a huge cheat because we've got this whole scene of him going, "Stop playing games, open the door," and all that sort of stuff.
Maybe he was just talking to himself.
I talk to myself like that sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes I go, stop playing games.
Stop playing games. Put that box of biscuits away.
Can you open the store door? It's fucking roasting in here. I constantly say that shit to myself all the time.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. All right. That's episode 2. It needs to lift its game.
Yep.
Lift its game. I might even go home and watch episode 3. All right. You can find us on Podomatic, iTunes, Spotify, and wherever else you get your podcasts. Send us an email at thrillme@iinet.net.au. We're on Facebook at Thrill Me Podcast Australia, Instagram at Thrill Me Podcast AU, and Podomatic at thrillme.podomatic.com. Make sure you rate and review us on iTunes and all the other platforms. Keep an eye on the Facebook page for details of our next movie, or in this case, our next episode of Hell Motel. But until then, take it easy, everyone, and we'll catch you all later. Cheers.
Find the podcast at Podomatic or on iTunes. Don't forget to rate and review. Like us on Facebook at Thrill Me Podcast Australia, or contact us at thrillme, all one word, all lowercase, at iinet.net.au.